Tennessee, bank on it, is a lock to make the college football playoff. Bank on it, brought to you by Commercial Bank, member FDIC, life made better, cbtn.com. You had to go one way or another. John, which way would you go? Bank on it, Tennessee is a lock to make the college football playoff.
I wouldn't say it's a lock, but I think it will make the playoff, but I wouldn't say it's a lock. Too much can happen. Tennessee lost to Arkansas. There have been too many upsets. We don't know who all might be tied with a 10-2 record. But yeah, I definitely favor Tennessee as a playoff team.
Caleb?
I'm 100% with Dave on this. Bank on it. They're going to make the college football playoff, and it's based on the rest of their schedule. John, you bring up their loss to Arkansas, and other people are going to bring up their almost loss to Florida. Florida's a unique situation because for some reason the culture of the campus results in players playing tense with sweaty palms no matter what when they're playing Florida, and it doesn't matter how different the talent is. And Arkansas, we know that Tennessee's questionable on the road, particularly at night games with Heupel. They're not questionable at home, and they're certainly not questionable when they play inferior teams at home. I don't think they've been upset at home once since Josh Heupel's been at Tennessee. And their remaining home games.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I just don't like to call anybody a lock at this point because of the way this season has gone. Tennessee,
well, I got a gambling problem, so I'm calling it a lock.
By the way, if you want to drop money into the super chat, feel free. Darth Vol, we saw what you did yesterday, and we appreciate that. Your book's in the mail. And if you want to drop some dollars in the super chat, it goes to Quincy Calhoun's college fund, just 4 months old, but the plan is Harvard. So, John, we've got that up and rolling right now. Go straight to Quincy Calhoun's college fund. And Caleb, the degenerate gambler that he is, has promised not to gamble it away.
Yeah, famous last words. Yeah, I'll hold back that. I won't touch that college fund unless I get a surefire 100% lock in. Well, then you just got to do it, don't you, Dave?
I mean, you'd be stupid to pass that up.
Oh yeah, you'd be a bad parent. You talk about you want to get that 8,000 subscriber, and you're going to give them merchandise. You're going to award some merchandise. I think what you ought to do, the 8,000 subscriber, whatever he weighs, you should bench press that.
That's a good one. Do it, Dave.
Yeah, Dave. You talk a big game.
You talk a big game.
Wait till Darnell Wright becomes an 8,000th subscriber, and he's got to bench press like 330 pounds.
I could do that, but it would involve injecting myself with stuff.
But
I don't think is the right way to go.
To the root of this, yeah, where I was just going to say with the so Tennessee plays Kentucky, Mississippi State, and UTEP all at home. I can just tell you guys right up front, they're not losing. All those teams are inferior to Tennessee, and all those teams are in Knoxville, so they're not losing those games. Say they lose to Georgia. They'll be 9-2 going to Vanderbilt, and the book out will be beat Vanderbilt in Nashville, and you make the college football playoff. I realize Vanderbilt just beat Alabama. I think Tennessee will have more of a home field advantage in Nashville than even Alabama did in Nashville. And I think because of the Vanderbilt upset of Alabama, Tennessee's not going to not take Vanderbilt seriously, particularly with the fact that knowing that if they win that game, they clinch a college football playoff berth. So I think all of that together, I don't really see how it's possible that Tennessee doesn't make the college football playoff, honestly.
Well, I didn't see how it was possible for Vanderbilt to beat Alabama. I mean, a lot of things I didn't think were possible have happened this year. That's why I would hold out and say, that there's a slim chance they won't make the playoff. But I certainly think they have a great shot at it.
I'm never taking John with me to Vegas.
John got married in Vegas.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Viva Las Vegas, Chapel. Thank you very much.
With the college football national championship is a couple of years in a couple of years is in Vegas. John, me and you should go. I'll be out here like throwing money down, and John's like, I'm not saying this is a lot, Caleb. You shouldn't do this. You should reserve judgment. And then I'm going to reserve judgment, and then I'm going to miss out on big winnings.
I'll say this: bank on it. There's no way that John could pick worse than Caleb.
Commercial Bank is your neighborhood bank. What makes us different from other banks? We understand that every customer has unique opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. We don't expect you to fit into the same box as the next person or business. Whether it's purchasing a home, saving for your child's future, or planning for your next vacation, we're with you every step of the way to navigate life's big decisions. Commercial Bank.
So, John, what other things do you want to share about Vegas other than you got married there? And that is, if you were at the sports betting table and they said the Georgia game is tomorrow, where would you put that spread? And then that leads me into my second part about why I think Tennessee is a lock to make the college football playoff.
I would probably put Georgia as a 6-point favorite.
Okay. Caleb, let me get your thoughts on that.
I probably may give him an 8-point spread just because of Tennessee's offensive woes. But I will say this. Actually, Dave, give me your reasons on why Tennessee's a lock, and I'm actually going to give a hot take after this too. I think I want us all to answer.
Okay. I don't believe that Tennessee is going to get blown out by anybody with the defense that they have. So I think the one way that they don't make the college football playoff is that they get blown out by Georgia, embarrassed as they were a couple years ago. I don't think that's possible with this defense. I think they could lose by 8-10, but I don't think that they're going to get blown out.
All right, I'm gonna say this. I want to know what you guys. What's likelier, Tennessee beats Georgia, or they lose any of their other games remaining on their schedule? I think it's likelier they beat Georgia. Honestly,
I do too. In fact, until I saw Georgia against Texas, I thought Tennessee would beat Georgia.
Wow, impressive. What do you think?
Ask the question again, because I got confused.
What is likelier to happen? Tennessee beats Georgia, or they lose one of the other games remaining on their schedule?
They're like, that is total bullshit.
I could easily see them slipping up. I could easily see them slipping up and losing a game that they shouldn't. And I don't think they're going to beat Georgia. So, John, you said before Saturday you thought Tennessee would beat Georgia. Where do you stand on that now?
No, because Georgia showed me the championship Georgia. It showed me the Georgia under Kirby Smart that in the biggest moment, they raised their game and play lights out. They didn't against Alabama in the playoff last year, but I think that had more to do with injuries. They didn't against Alabama this year, but this was a Georgia team that beat TCU for the national title. That just absolutely destroyed Florida State. Florida State still hadn't recovered from that game. Just the ability to turn its game up a notch and be so relentless. So I don't think Georgia's as good as those teams, but I still think it has that quality because I thought Texas was the best team in the country.
I did too. That was a very odd showing to me. So what's likelier? That's our new poll question. Vols beat Georgia. Vols lose to another team. Caleb brought up a great point. We could bring up Vanderbilt, but if the narrative is they go into that game 9-2 and a win gets you to the college football playoff, then I'm taking that off the board as a possible loss. But, Kentucky showed me some things, and I think that they have obviously Mark Stoops, a defensive-minded coach that might pull out a different look, like the three-man look. And I will tell you that Tennessee doesn't want any part of that anymore. And John, we visited with, I can't remember who it was, brought up a great point that you had Sam Pittman and you had Brent Venables, that they're kind of coaching for their job in retrospect, and they were willing to make those vast different changes. I think that could be the case with Mark Stoops. I don't think that Kirby Smart is going to change what they do defensively just because the Vols are coming to town.
No, but Kirby Smart's a really good, really good defensive coach. I think he can do some things that would cause problems for Tennessee. I mean, he does it to everybody. He certainly did it for Texas. Yeah, Mark Stoops of Kentucky. What is it like? 3-36 or 3-35 against Tennessee. I just never think of Kentucky beating Tennessee. Kentucky won't be able to. They'll struggle to get to midfield against Tennessee's defense. Tennessee's defense will overwhelm Kentucky.
And being in Neyland's going to make it even tougher.
Oh, that's going to be ugly. What was that game a couple of years ago? Will Levis, wasn't it like just a huge blowout against?
Oh yeah, 44-6.
Yeah, 44-6. That's what I was thinking.
And
I can
Rand
remember
Carthen of the
Caleb.
Titans.
I can remember at the time Caleb saying, "Boy, that Will Levis. I hope he's the quarterback for
Dave-
my Tennessee Titans."
Rand Carthen saw that game and drafted Will Levis, and then attacked media and fans. John, I don't know if you know, he attacked national media for criticizing Will Levis when he was drafted. He's like, these are young kids, and there's plenty of time to criticize their play, but let them have their moment when they're drafted. I'm like, shut up, Rand.
If you want something
Young
that's entertaining,
kids. What?
John, I know you work a lot on the weekends, but if you want something that's entertaining, I can start shooting you tweets from Caleb about the Titans. You would think that they were like fascist Nazis back in the day. I mean, he really hates Will Levis.
Please, Nazis would be way more disciplined than Will Levis.
That's unhealthy, Caleb. He's just a kid, man. He's just a kid.
Quality Tire Pros, serving Chattanooga's community since 1957. That's the Eberle family. All major brands of tires, full service automotive, brakes, alignments, oil changes, and more. QualityTirePros.com, QualityTirePros.com. Stop by and tell Bo that Off the Hook Sports and Dave Hooker said hello. Just say, hey, Bo.